Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves reaction. I'm going to be getting to a few more of these throughout the next couple of weeks. I've seen enough reactions to my first one to know that not everyone's a fan of the music in this, at least compared to other games that are seen as generally better, which, sure, I can tend to find good and bad in pretty much anything I listen to, so I never really even thought about that in, like, that sort of scale, but I get what people mean, but this is one of the ones that people really liked, Crownless, the battle theme for this. I only found one upload that was marked as the full version because for some reason just a little over 2 minutes felt a bit short. So this one is 3.5-ish. So I'm going to assume that this is like the full thing, maybe even with the transition in there if the original version didn't have that sort of thing. But I'm not going to guarantee that this is the version because there's a lot of re-uploads of every song out there. This is no exception, but I digress. Let's just hear what this song has, shall we? Let's go. Okay. Immediately separating the ears, that's quick. I like that. Having just the one hit on both sides. Ooh. Okay, sound design. I'm gonna have to focus on the sound design in this one a lot more than I think I will the other portions of the song, like the melody and everything. I got a feeling it's gonna be more techno design. Which I love hearing the layering of the samples and everything that are used for that. Even just that like trail, that it's like a little scuttle away. Ooh. Man, even this synth is bouncing around. And we're building up though. I can feel it. Something's happening. Ooh. Okay, it was a feint. Alright. It's been a while since I've come across one of those. Kind of subvert the expectation a little bit. I might have to talk about this piano. It's super simple, but it's very effective. Might get into why the separation feels really nice. Ooh, 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 hold up. All right. Someone invited the edgy kid from high school. I'm here for it. Quiet kid grabbed his guitar. Let's go. That was kind of cool. It just like faded into the string sound. Was that it? Oh, that was it? What? Oh man. Okay, that's not fair. It left me with wanting a little bit more actually. It built up and I was like, are we gonna have another like chorus or something? No. Okay. That's a good sign though when it leaves you wanting more. So clearly this song had a lot of amazing sound design work in it. There was a bunch of like cool synth stuff just being sprinkled throughout it. I mentioned that one like scuttling effect that was kind of following one of the bass hits. That sounded really good. It made everything feel a little bit more alive. There's a bunch of stuff like that in this song, a lot of effects like that. There was one that almost had like a modern talking kind of thing, which if you don't know the name of that, it's basically just one of the massive synthesizers presets. It's an effect that was used a lot in dubstep, especially in the early days of like 2011 or so, like when Skrillex was really starting to hit it off. That sort of sound that you expect out of dubstep in that era was exactly what was being used there, just a little bit more creatively. I still hear it here and there in different electronic music, more modern stuff as well, but it's used a lot more subtly instead of being overused like it ended up being in that era. But anyway, there's just a bunch in this song. I did want to talk about that little piano pluck part, and I wanted to talk about why that's kind of neat and how it fits together and go through that whole passage real quick. First thing I gotta say is I'm pretty sure that this is in G major and E minor. I'm sure it kind of adjusts between the two, but there is a specific reason for that. Pretty much all of this piano part is done on the white keys except for one note, and that's an F sharp. So that would explain why it's that key for me. So how this goes is you start on that E and it just jumps straight up to the C. So you get this immediate, beautiful major 6, and that's followed exactly by a perfect 5th. So you get this, and that's just what happens there. And then it jumps an octave, which of course sounds perfect, because it is. And then it goes down to an A, a D, and then a B. So it just has this nice round of, you get a perfect 5th there, perfect 4th there, and then between these two is a 3rd. So it just kind of feels right, you know? It's all just so calm. However, you have that one F sharp in there later in that little spot where I was like, ooh, where it kind of changes it up and has this other little passage that goes, and it just feels so nice. You get a perfect 4th there, a diminished 4th there. This round, it just has a little bit of this mystery to it, but it's a very like optimistic sound. It kind of feels like you're the hero and you're trying to reach a destination, but you need to understand yourself better as the hero before you get there. There's a little bit of that want in that passage. It's super simple, just going on that circle, but if you were just to arpeggiate that constantly, it would sound so nice as like a little accent in the background of a more uplifting song. I could see that being used in musical theater quite a bit, or like a Disney style song, you know? That sort of sound is exactly why it works here. But I like that instead of just continuing to do this and leaving it a little too floaty and like there's no resolution here, it does resolve to that E, which is exactly where we started. Beautiful. I think that really speaks a lot. Like, instead of letting that sensation of not being grounded, not really coming to terms with the situation, grounds itself, especially in like a boss theme. So I think for a moment in the composition here, it's supposed to be a reflection of the player. I feel like, I don't know, I have got no context for this, but this feels like something trying to be answered, and by resolving it back to that first, it grounds everything, and it feels really just nice and locked in. Like they want you to consider something for just a moment. They want you to question why you're there, or question maybe the purpose of the boss. Maybe they're not all that bad, something like that. Or maybe it was just an invitation to reflect on how long it's taken for you to get to this specific point in the game. Something like that. Those sort of like really floaty, lighthearted passages, it's just like, they're not there for no reason. They don't throw that in there just because it sounds cool. I feel like there is a specific reason to have that combination of notes in there. Again, I could be overanalyzing, but I really want to believe that that's in there for some reason related to the characters or yourself as the player. While I mentioned that this song is probably in G major / E minor and floating around in that zone, the guitar part is actually a little bit different because it actually utilizes just an F. So it goes like, it doesn't go, it goes straight up to F, not to the F sharp that we used earlier for that other little passage. So I think they actually modified the G major and instead took it down in order to add a little bit of dissonance in there, because guitar adds a lot of crunch and a lot of character. So when you want something to sound a little bit more badass, you just kind of drop that one note down and there you go. So there's a little bit of wiggle room there, and I'm not sure exactly what key this is in because of that. I'm not good enough in music theory to know, but I do think there's a lot going on in here that makes everything kind of feel a little bit different. There's those spots in there that make you feel a little bit hopeful, weirdly. It kind of is sad, it's melancholic, but then it also has this really badass energy under it when it gets to that guitar part. So it's like, which one are you supposed to feel? Are you supposed to feel different at different parts of this battle? Is there an emotional connection to that further than just, this is a bad person, beat them, end boss? You know, like, I feel there's probably story here that I'm just not obviously aware of that would make a lot more sense if I knew. But that's pretty common in these story-based games where songs will try to reflect a deeper story that reflects the character themselves. So maybe this character is a very nice, calm person that turned evil and there's just this aggression to it, or there's a longing for a betterment of this person rather than just, I want to beat you down. And maybe that changes after they realize like they're not coming back out of this, and that's why the guitar kicks in later and makes everything a little bit more aggressive. You just kind of go with, hey, it's not going to work out, time to kick your ass. Like, there's so many options here. And maybe that ambiguity is why people don't like the music in this game as much, even though this is a standout for a lot of people. Maybe it's just not quite as clear as some of the other games out there, and maybe that's why people just aren't as into the music side of it. But I know they've worked with Vanguard Studios a few times, so it's like, I know that they have good taste, and I know that Kuro Games works with Vanguard and other titles as well. So it's like, why aren't you utilizing more of them? You have these people, these brilliant writers and composers that just truly understand this genre of game and how to make those emotions really shine through in the music. But I feel like they're being underutilized this time around. Maybe that's why people aren't huge on it. But I am just speculating here. So if you have any other ones you want me to listen to, by all means, let me know down below and I will do my best. Like I said, I did see a few others, so I know there's a couple more that I'll be getting to, but let me know if there's any ones that pop up in the next couple of months as well. Obviously, this game is pretty new, so there's still plenty of time for new updates and evolution to happen there, and they might find themselves bettering themselves with the music as time goes on. Who knows? But anyway, if you like this video and you liked hearing me yap about game music and stuff, then you know how to follow me and support me to see more in the future, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!